Hello, you guys. I'm back. It has been a while. I'm gonna light this Palo Santo to refresh my whole YouTube channel. I went ahead and we're literally starting from a clean slate. I felt like I've been on a long hiatus. I needed a break. I went to Instagram for a while, and then Instagram really changed their whole platform, and everything is like TikTok, short, 60, 90-second videos, and that's really not my vibe. So I don't know, I just got to the point where I was like, you know what? I miss YouTube. I miss this format. I miss connecting here. I miss my cards. I miss my psychic shit. Like, I was doing some of that behind the scenes in my groups, but it wasn't the same. So anyways, here we are. No need for a big intro. It is what it is. Sometimes we just need to take a break to grow. So I need to get into a flow of the content, but I pulled out like 2 decks, and I just wanted to do, it was just the summer solstice here in the northern hemisphere, and as of right now, at least in my world and in my life, I have a group, Rose Temple, that's like a closed group for the rest of the year, which we started back in January, February, so that's happening, and I've got a special happening right now for one-to-one readings, which is why I really wanted to come back and get back into this format. So, but like I said, I kind of want to feel it out and see how I want to post week to week, how many videos I want to do, and sort of where I want to focus. But I feel that what would be coolest would be to maybe focus one on sort of relationship, and I have another deck coming actually that I haven't received yet, so that's on the way. An oracle deck that's really cool. So that will be nice to do readings with. But yeah, I was thinking probably one sort of relationship focus for the week, and then maybe one kind of overall check-in, just see what's happening, what's coming through for at least me, so that I can share that with you guys, and for how, whomever resonates and pops in, that'll work. So I'm just gonna roll with this with the Spanish Tarot to start. And I think for today's, since it was just the solstice, the solstice is a time for almost like a rebirthing. And it feels like, although it's not like the winter solstice where it's like a death and you're really like in that death portal, this feels like everything's coming alive. Kind of felt divinely aligned that I decided to come back on here right for the solstice. I didn't plan it that way. It just kind of worked out that way. So no accidents. And I'm just kind of curious to do like a general vibe of what's coming through. So I'm actually just going to pull 3 cards from the Spanish Tarot, and then I'm going to get one from this Hermetic Tarot. And let's just see what comes through. So today I'm going to give this more of like a solstice kind of overall vibes for the week. And like I said, I'll probably post at least like twice a week, maybe more. Let's see. All right, so what is coming through right now? Ooh, there's one. I'll hide them until I pull them. 2. Okay, so underneath the deck is the 6 of Cups, which I love. That's ironic because this is like a return to something from the past that really brings you emotional fulfillment. And it's funny because at the time that I kind of got off YouTube, that was like, really I kind of departed in 2020, let's be real. I posted some things here and there, but it was really posting from Instagram to here. But I haven't really been here in a while, and that's because, I needed to grow. I wanted to go and run these group programs, create resources for you guys, which now I literally have a whole store full of like meditations and tools and things that are my own that I've created, which I didn't have a few years back. So, but when I really thought about it, and I was just talking to the ladies in Rose Temple because we just had our call today for the month, and I was sharing with them that something that's been important here has been to really center joy. And as easy as that sounds, to actually put that into practice, like when you're stressed, when things aren't going your way, when life is kind of throwing you plot twists, to continue to center your joy and to do the things that also make you happy, to make sure that you're like carving out space for that. It doesn't mean that that's all you're doing, but carving out the time for that I think is really crucial, but also it's a choice. So that's just a choice that I've been making, and so with the 6 of Cups being here, to me this is like, think back even to your past when you were really at your emotional best, like when you were feeling your best, and what were you doing in those times? For me, it was like being creative, doing things that have to do with intuitive development and psychic shit, and just this, like, playing with cards doesn't feel like a job to me. It doesn't feel hard at all. It feels fun. It feels easy. And, those are typically the gateways to the opportunities that are truly meant for you. Of course, there's going to be challenges along the way, but the more that you really center your joy and make it a priority, to me, the better it's gotten. So let's just get one from here. And then I'm going to turn these over. Underneath the deck here is Temperance. Amazing. Daughter of the Reconcilers. Yeah, what are you reconciling from the past right now, Temperance, I really need my glasses at this point, but I don't want them to have a glare. But, Temperance is associated with Sagittarius. In this particular, it's almost like lightning bolts are coming out of one cup and then this liquid is coming out of the other, like water. And it really feels, these cards are very intricate, so they're not great for like a quick reading. This is the Hermetic Tarot deck, but what I feel from this is that even from the stress of the past or the chaos or whatever sort of challenges have happened, there's an alchemy happening now. And so this healing, Temperance, being balanced, being emotional balance, I love that that's there with the Six of Cups. It just feels like maybe you're getting the opportunity now to reconcile some things from the past that may have in some ways been stressful, but also brought you joy. I don't know, it's kind of like bringing these worlds together, but to not negate your joy. Or if you were going through a challenging time and you sort of lost that spark, like now is an opportunity to bring that back into your world, to refocus on the things that bring you emotional fulfillment and not worry too much about every single detail of how it's going to lead you to your goal or whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish. So we've got the Page of Pentacles. Obviously this is in Spanish. Then we have, oh my God, Temperance, but it's in the reverse. That's so interesting. See, I don't have any of the Hermetic reversed. I have them all upright, but we got the same. I mean, I love it when a card shows up double time because that is definitely a message. Again, saying Daughter of the Reconcilers underneath there and having reconciliation be a word. Like, I think a lot of times we think of reconciling as like in relationship terms, and it might be that there's some type of reconciliation that's on the horizon for you or something that, wants to come back around. But reconciling is also, I mean, I don't know the exact definition of that word verbatim, but to me it also feels like to reconcile something, we have to have some acceptance and forgiveness and compassion, for what was in order to make peace with this moment. So perhaps there's some outstanding things that you haven't quite resolved or accepted within you. I don't know, I just, that lightning bolt and this cup in this particular deck, you can't really see it, but like, it looks like a lion's face roaring. And so it's just giving me that feeling of like almost like a lot of power, but it could be rage, it could be anger, it could be a mix of emotions right now that are sort of working themselves out. And, the best way is to make space for whatever wants to come through in a safe way. If you're feeling angry, but you're not giving yourself the time and the space to feel it, then that's probably a great next step. So yeah, Temperance is in the reverse. Let's see what else we got here, just before I go back to that. We're getting the Four of Pentacles reversed. Okay. And then we've got Five of Wands, Lord of Strife. I mean, yeah, and more lion heads on here sort of roaring. This is really interesting. So what I'm feeling here, and I do see, I mean, I always think of Leo energy when I see the lion heads, and we just started Cancer season, we're going to move into Leo. Having the Five of Wands and the Lord of Strife as the name there, feeling those lightning bolts and kind of stress energy coming from that other Temperance card. Temperance being here reversed. And then the Four of Pentacles is about, it can be stability. It can be like you creating a foundation materially, like creating stability for yourself, security. It can relate to all those things. But in the reverse, it's almost like, what do you need to release? For there to be this emotional balance, you need to physically let something go or release or make space. So I was sharing with Rose Temple that I had a team this whole past year who was phenomenal, actually. But I decided to shift back to doing my own admin for a while for various reasons, but mostly because I wanted to just simplify everything and, you know, lower my costs and just really get back to the basics, but from a higher perspective, right? Like even coming back to YouTube, initially I had a little bit of resistance because like, oh, I've already done that, and creating a little story there. But then when I really thought about it, I'm like, but that was the easiest, most fun way to create, and also created a lot of gateways for prosperity and things, because when you follow your joy, like for me, this is joyful, it's fun, you know, the door's open for you. So it's really important to listen. But I just feel like there's something here happening that is calling, and again, don't forget, the first card here was the Page of Pentacles. And pages are about new offerings, new spark of opportunity. It could have to do with a person or with like a job opportunity or some type of creative venture, something where material realm is involved, because it's pentacles, right? So that's like the earthly realm. It's not just money, but it's tangible. That's how I read the pentacles. And the only cups card we have is like an underlying energy. It's like this subconscious energy of, in order for these new material opportunities to arrive, like in order for something tangible to form in the material world, then we need to follow the things that bring us emotional fulfillment, ultimately. Now, if that's like leading you down, I mean, I'll talk to people who have like addiction and be like, yeah, I'm following my joy and I'm getting fucking smashed every night or whatever. Well, that's different, right? Like, yeah, that might be joyful, but it's destructive. So it's like we're looking towards the things that both fulfill us and also nourish us. That's also part of temperance, is moderation, where we maybe taken things to an extreme and it's time to dial back a little bit, right? And find more of a happy medium there. But there's no accident that temperance is coming twice. And I really feel like some of the ladies in Rose Temple this month, we were talking about making space for an opportunity, but they were sort of getting very logical about it. And so I asked about their physical home, and I'm like, what part of your house is the most cluttered right now? And so they both, like two of the women, committed to clearing out their closets and actually getting physically rid of the things that they were donating. And I'm like, do the Marie Kondo method, like pour all that shit out on your bed or whatever. If it doesn't spark joy, if you haven't worn it in at least a year, and it's not like a seasonal item, for example, like something you only wear a little bit during the year, donate it, get rid of it, make space, make more and more space. Because when your hands are full, you know, you can't receive. But the moment that you create space, you create almost like a vacuum. Like where there's spaciousness, there is a magnetism that happens. And so when you make physical space, it's actually sending a message out to the universe, like, I'm ready to receive something new. I'm ready to receive something that's even more aligned for me, or something better. But if your space is cluttered, then your mind is probably cluttered. Then it's like, in order to create some alignment there physically, Four of Pentacles in the reverse to me is like something materially needs to be released from your grip. So if you've been holding on really tight to tangible things in your life, and this could be people, this could be situations, it could be like, I don't know, you decide, a job thing, a career thing. Like I just changed around the structure of my business because it felt in a way like going backwards, but I'm like, but you're moving forward and you're simplifying things, because that's bringing me more mental peace right now, and because it doesn't always need to be complicated to be working well, you know, or to be abundant. Sometimes the key is simplifying. Sometimes. I feel with the Five of Wands and the Lord of Strife coming here that there is tension. You know, the Five of Wands is when there are a lot of things going on at once, or a lot of different people's opinions involved, or you're working with multiple forces. And part of like becoming an alchemist, a magician, like a person who's masterful at navigating stress or strife or chaos is almost like a sensei. Like you have to become graceful in the presence of stress, and that happens within you, right? Like it's a mindset, it's your frequency, it's your ability to stay centered even when things around you are stressful. We don't typically learn that until we're like in the fucking fire. So I learned that by being in some high stress situations. The last couple of years, there's been a lot going on. Sorry, I'm just checking the time. There's been a lot going on. So I know firsthand that, you know, my teacher always used to say, like, it's easy to meditate when it's peaceful and quiet for a lot of people, you know. Oh yeah, that's when we think it's the best time. But it's like, can you put it into practice when it's not peaceful, when it is stressful, when there is a lot going on, when there are multiple people or balls in the court, you know, like typically with the Five of Wands, you're seeing like all the wands coming in from different directions. So I just want to pull a few clarifiers. So I'm just actually going to use a Rider-Waite and just pull it from here because maybe we get some other repeat cards. Let's see. But yeah, for the solstice, this feels like, you know, this is a time in the northern hemisphere, at least for those of you that are up by me in the northern part. It's like the sun is radiant, it's at its peak, the day is longest, we've got the most light coming through, but when the most light is coming, it's illuminating what's in the darkness still. And so I'm just going to pull one on each of these to just clarify. 1, 2, and then we'll wrap it up. Okay, so the Eight of Swords is underneath here. The Eight of Swords is always a mental, feeling mentally stuck, but you are not stuck. So if you mentally feel stuck, just know that that is the mind, right? And that there's always a solution. There's always a way out, because this person can simply shake the rope loose and they're no longer trapped. So this is a mental energy of being in your head. And the key here is to really listen emotionally to what's going on in your body, your intuition. That's a practice, you know, that doesn't necessarily happen overnight either. Okay, we're getting the Ace of Swords to clarify, the Page of Pentacles reversed, King of Cups here with Temperance reversed, Page of Pentacles again, so that's like twice that we're getting repeat cards, okay? To clarify what I was saying before, the Tower is coming with the Lord of Strife. Something needs to come apart, you guys, let it. Something real, I'm just gonna clarify the Tower, but something needs to break down. But that's like, we have such a strong judgment around things collapsing, but it needs to happen sometimes. Yeah, look. Your opportunity is on the other side of this Tower moment. Whatever this stress is that you're resisting, you're not letting something just fall apart. It's probably time to let that thing, that situation, it's almost like the pot is boiling. And I'm getting this visual of like the pot is boiling. The top is literally shaking. It's like, it wants to explode. Now, I'm not saying in a dramatic way, like, oh my God, let your life explode in flames. But I'm saying where you're resisting this big change is precisely where you're like cock blocking. The universe wants to give you this amazing new opportunity, this creative spark, this idea, this new beginning in the form of inspiration creatively, because that's what wands are. They're fire. And that's on a fire card, Five of Wands. But in between it is this Tower. Like, where are you resisting the coming undone? It's such a collective thing that we're conditioned to think like if things fall apart, we failed. We've really got to fucking let that go. It's not the truth. Sometimes things need to blow the F up. The lack of clarity here on the Page of Pentacles. The lack of a decision. Let's just clarify that. Why is the Ace of Swords reversed? Because you got to stop waiting. There's like a waiting happening here, and it's time to take action. Because you can see that this person's like waiting for the ships to come in. But in the reverse, it feels like a resistance to taking that next step. You know what you need to do. I don't think that you're unclear. I think that there's a resistance here. Just, it was like me being like, all right, I'm gonna be my own admin again. I didn't want to do that. I resisted it. I continued to pay happily, joyfully. I love my team. And yet it just wasn't like, it was too much. You know what I mean? Like I needed to lower my costs. I needed to like have a minute to breathe and not feel all that pressure, simply because it just wasn't making sense in this moment, right? Because I was going through a pivot, and that's okay. At first I was like, oh my God, I was just making this whole story about it. And I'm like, just relax into it. You know, nothing is permanent. It's just for now. Go with it. Let it be easier. Let it be simpler for the summertime. Just chill for a little bit. Go back to what you love. Do this for a little while and see how it goes, right? So I do feel here that there is most certainly an opportunity, something that's wanting to be created by you. It could be a new project, something that you've been wanting to take action on, a new opportunity, whatever it is. But you've got to take that step. We're getting the King of Cups to clarify Temperance in reverse. I'm just going to clarify that because sometimes with these court cards you like a little. Four of Wands reversed. If this is happening at home, like if this has to do with your home environment, like in the reverse, it's really showing like maybe you don't feel at home in this situation. It may not be actually literally your family situation, but it might be. It could very well be. And if that's the case, you know, I know a lot of people this year that moved home. I'm talking like grown adults, like people in my orbit that are in their 40s and 50s that moved home this year and younger. A lot of people have moved home, you guys. Things are changing. A lot of things are changing. And I think a lot of people needed to go back to their roots, back to their home to reassess some things, to like learn some new lessons. There's no more powerful way to do it than with your family. I know, because I lived at home for many years. There's some type of emotional situation happening where you don't feel at home anymore, or like your foundation is no longer feeling strong. I'm just hearing like, I don't feel at home here. Okay, so like for me, that was showing up in the way that I was trying to do my business. I was like, I don't feel at home in this flow anymore, in this way of creation, in this box that I kind of put myself in. And so what was the answer? Break that fucking box. But if it's having to do with something even more intimate and personal, you know, I'm just going to pull one from the Spanish Tarot here, Queen of Clarifiers, but it helps. The Star reversed. Like if you're saying to yourself something like, I don't feel at home here anymore, it's because your destiny, it wants to lead you somewhere else. Like this isn't your ultimate destination, let's put it that way. So whether it's your literal family life, whether it's your career, whether it's a relationship, whatever the thing is, the situation, you do feel emotionally imbalanced for a reason. And part of it is because you're trying to, like Spirit's trying to guide you to something even more aligned. But the ultimate lesson is that we've got to learn to let go. And sometimes letting go means other people are going to be disappointed. And this is such a big thing with the people in my orbit, with clients, and because this was a huge lesson for me. People pleasing, right? And trying to mold your destiny so that no one around you is ever uncomfortable or that they never feel some type of way. Because you're not going to make everybody happy. You can't follow your destiny and truly do what's best for you and make sure that everyone around you likes it. There will be people that aren't going to support it. It is what it is. I wish everyone got unconditional love and support from every person around them, but that's not usually the way that it goes. Spirit wants you to follow. Your destiny is up here waiting for you to move towards it. We got to move in the direction of that. And a lot of times just subconsciously we find ways to sabotage the thing we want the most because we don't want to maybe get uncomfortable, navigate the unknown. But, you know, I got to touch this one day at a time because that's literally how I move through my life now. There's way too many factors at play to try and control everything. One day at a time gives me the peace that every day I wake up and I say, today, I have today to look at, to deal with, to move through. Tomorrow's a new day. And that has been my affirmation, my sort of mantra for many years now, because if you try to go too far ahead, especially when it comes to big moments like I'm feeling here with lots of major arcana cards, it's like, these are the moments where you just have to take one step and you've really got to learn to trust. And you don't learn trust by just willing trust. The way that you learn to trust and the way that you build confidence is by taking action steps, you guys. And then you are going to start to prove to yourself, you're going to start to show yourself that you are capable, that things do work out for you. But the only way to learn that is by actually taking an action step. Just checking the time here. So, Yeah, I feel that really strongly, and I'm just going to pull one. So that is really the overarching message here for a new opportunity to be born. Page of Pentacles being here upright twice. Something's got to go. So you can start small, like I said with my clients, like clear out your closet. If you're like, oh my God, I need to, I don't know, end my marriage, I need to get a divorce or something really big, start smaller perhaps. Like if that just feels crippling. I'm just using that as an example because with the Four of Wands in reverse here and these other cards, it does feel like a really big decision. Something that is going to literally change the course of your destiny. That's why it's here in this row. Okay, that's incredible. You look back and be like, thank God I did that. But moving through it, the only way out is through, right? Literally. I feel like I've been guided back to do these readings and to do these check-ins with you guys because I know what it's like to move through the unknown and be like, motherfucker, this is hard. Like, I don't trust myself. Like, is there you're looking for signs. And you know what? I'm happy to be that sign for you today. Maybe you needed to hear this. If you landed on this, you definitely needed to hear this. Sometimes it's just really comforting to hear and have it be in our vortex, supporting the change that we know that we want to make and need to make, but we're like terrified of the consequences. But trust me, I've never been in one of these moments, made the change and looked back and been like, I wish I didn't make that change, because it's always somehow worked out better than I could have ever imagined. That doesn't mean it wasn't hard at times in the middle, because for sure challenges come, but like you've got to trust that if you desire it really deeply, and you see other people experiencing it, then in some way, shape, or form, that joy that you're seeking or the thing that you desire, it is possible in the way that's going to be for you and your highest good. Yeah, 5, 6, 7, sorry, I'm like blind. Okay, 8 of Swords is reversed, another double card here. Just to clarify this releasing and letting go, you're not stuck. You're not a hostage of your situation, I'm sure, not to use that lightly, but like some people think like they're in a situation like a relationship or whatever, and they're really feeling like, I'm so trapped, I'm so trapped. Like, unless the person has you chained to the wall, like you're not stuck. Mentally, you're imprisoning yourself, but you're actually, there's a lot of opportunities, but it can be easier to stay attached to I'm stuck than to actually face the reality that, yes, change is totally possible here. Do I just not want to deal with the consequences that it's going to bring? And face those challenges, trust me, it's worth it. The cards are like, please don't think that you're stuck. You're not stuck. Let's get one more here to wrap this up. 5, 6, 7, 8 of Pentacles reversed. This is a little bit of like, I'm going to just say laziness because it's like a desire. It's like not wanting to put in the physical work for this, you guys, or thinking that it's too late. Like, I'll never be able to build what I want. That's what I just heard, so I'm just using that. I'm just saying that because it's almost like it's too late. Like, if I make this change, it's like I'm too late. You're never too late, you guys. If you desire it, it's because there's something waiting for you on the other side of that decision. So be willing to rebuild, because it's coming on the Tower and strife. And it almost feels like feeling like, if I let this whole, okay, so it's like you've put a lot of time into something. You've put a lot of effort. Maybe it's a relationship. Okay, you've put in 10 years of effort. I know, I was married for a long time and I got a divorce and it was the best decision I ever made. Everybody's so much happier now. That's not always the case. In my case, I feel blessed that everybody's happier. We're all on great terms. It's all good. But like, it wasn't easy, but it was like the best thing that could have ever happened. It freed everybody up to move into the direction we're all meant for. And even though you put in the work, for example, into a situation, it doesn't mean anything if it ends. It means, okay, those were however many years spent. Maybe you put it into your job. I've changed careers multiple times and all these different things. It's fine. Trust. You can rebuild. You can start again. Look, I'm here. I got rid of all the old videos. No need to hang on to the past. That was then. This is now. Be willing to start fresh and put in some more effort for what you actually desire. You're going to be rewarded with this new thing that wants to come. One more. Yeah, the Queen of Swords in the reverse. If you're feeling bitter, if you're feeling resentful that you have to start over again, or that that's part of the plan, Spirit is just saying, trust, 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 trust. Have compassion with yourself. Have grace. Give yourself that grace for the change. I'm going to wrap it up here. Just before I run out of time, I will be back again, probably this weekend. And I'm so happy to be back. I'm sending you guys so much love. One-to-one readings are on sale right now. Link is below. 90 or 60 minute. You can book either one. Love you guys. See you soon.